Hi, I'm Pete DeQuincy, and this is the third video, 3 of 6, in a series that provides tutorial support at training lifeguards to become proficient at securing a passive victim onto a rescue tube in shallow water. The end objective that we're striving for with this series is that we want our lifeguards proficient at securing a victim onto a rescue tube no matter what type of presentation exists, meaning that if the victim is face up on the surface, if the victim is face down on the surface, if the lifeguard reaches the victim's head or feet first, or if the lifeguard approaches the victim from the side, they'll still be successful at securing the victim onto the rescue tube. The three things that we are looking for to make sure that this is defined as a success at securing the victim onto the rescue tube are: 1, we want to see that the placement of the rescue tube allows the victim to be in a face-up position on the surface and solely supports the victim without the assistance of the lifeguard, meaning that the lifeguard can essentially be hands-free if there is a need to provide additional care. 2, the placement of the rescue tube allows the victim's airway to fall open and remain open. And 3, the lifeguard is going to secure the victim's arms around the rescue tube in such a way that if the victim starts to slip off the rescue tube, the victim will remain face up on the surface. Ideally, the position that we want, face up on the surface, allows the lifeguard two things. The lifeguard is going to be able to do a quick assessment of the victim and determine if there is a need for the victim to be extricated from the water to the land, and if there is an immediate need to provide care for the victim while the victim is still in the water. Okay? Again, face up on the surface provides that opportunity for that lifeguard to make that determination. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to watch this video, and then we're going to come back and do a breakdown for the benefit of those new lifeguard instructors and in-service trainers. Here we go. Alright, now that we've watched the video, let's go back and see what works and what can be improved upon. So, for this series, this specific drill, the victim's going to be face down, and we're going to have the lifeguards approach the victim from the rear. Okay? So the victim is face down, they're going to get into the water, and then the lifeguard's going to approach. Victim's on the surface, rescue tube is in hand. Now, this is going to be important here. We want to have a nice squeeze of the tube right here and here and here. So we're looking for that nice tube squeeze of the tube between the victim and the lifeguard. Okay, so that looks like it's happening on all three of those. Okay, from here, then we're reaching around, and you're noticing that the lifeguard is reaching underneath the victim's arms and then going to be supporting the head or pinching the head. Okay, and we're seeing that here as well. We can't see it here, but it looks like it's still happening. Okay. From there, they're going to bring the victim's face up out of the water, okay, and place the victim's body onto the tube. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at that. Okay, we're coming back here, and looking at the first rescuer, take a look. Notice how his body drops down into the water, okay? So we're not essentially lifting the whole victim out, okay? We're moving around the victim spatially. All right, so look at that. Rescuer drops down, and the victim is placed onto the rescue tube. That looks nice, okay? And we see that as well for the other two victims. Now, the next thing is the victim in a position that the airway naturally falls open? It looks pretty good. Okay, victim's airway is open. All right. Let's take back. And let's see if the arms are secured around the rescue tube. I'm seeing that. That looks good. And does not look like it's happening here with Rescuer 3 or Lifeguard 3. Okay, so that can be improved upon. There was a few things that I wanted to go back and point out here. So let's do this. So we're going to go back. Alright. And we're taking a look here at Lifeguard 2 and Lifeguard 3. Now what I'd like you to do is watch how they bring the victim over. They're securing the head, so they've got the good squeeze going on. The head is being pinched by both hands, but you'll notice that with both of those lifeguards, they're not bringing the victim directly over. Okay, it's kind of coming from the side, so it's a little bit of a shimmy. So watch this. And what you'll notice here is, again, both rescuers are kind of dropping one shoulder, and that's how they're bringing the victim over. I think it's totally appropriate and totally fine as long as, one, they're maintaining their own safety and the safety of the victim, and the victim's head is not in a floppy position so that it can come back and potentially injure the lifeguard. So this works, and this is a pretty common thing, especially if you're going to have a smaller lifeguard rescuing a larger victim. Okay? The other thing that I want you to be concerned about while you're doing this maneuver is if the water is too shallow and you have a really long or tall victim, we don't want to injure that victim because they're so tall that we're almost essentially snapping their back. Okay? So we want to be really cognizant of that. Okay? Overall, I would be very happy with what all of these lifeguards are doing. Hold here. I'll rephrase that. I'm happy with what I see here with this lifeguard dropping down and doing an assessment. Alright. This one, not so much, and this one, not so much either. They're not dropping down to do a quick assessment of the victim, and that's something that they can improve upon. Okay? That's what I've got here. Thanks a lot for watching.